Hello everyone. I'm Aurora from Susan's family. Today we're working on the Chinese aesthetic series, Money. 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 Money tree style. This ornament consists of a pot, accessories, and assembly. We'll crochet the pot and accessories in sequence, and finally assemble them. Let's start by learning how to crochet the pot. The pot is divided into the main part, the fabric piece, and assembly. Let's start by learning how to crochet the main part. The main part is crocheted on an acrylic board, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The stitch techniques used include X single crochet, V single crochet increase, A single crochet decrease, T half double crochet, and F double crochet. Before we start crocheting, let's familiarize ourselves with the chart. In the chart, H indicates the row number, and R indicates the round number. The stitch instructions column shows the stitch techniques used for the current row, as well as any increases or decreases. The stitch count column indicates the total number of stitches. After completing all the stitches in the current row, before crocheting, peel off the film on the acrylic board first. There is film on both sides. If it doesn't come off easily, you can use scissors to help. After handling it, continue crocheting. Here, I will use this small acrylic board to demonstrate the crocheting method. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. This loop should be slightly larger. Insert the hook into any space and draw the yarn through. Then adjust the size of the loop. The loop should be higher than the outer edge of the acrylic board. Once done, start with the first round. First, work one chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. When actually crocheting in rounds, always start with a turning chain. The turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. The stitches within parentheses indicate a group. X number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Curly brackets and parentheses have the same meaning. First, work the stitches within the parentheses. That is, make 2 single crochets into the first chain space. While crocheting, place the starting yarn tail above the hook and work it in together. The loops you pull through should extend beyond the outer edge of the acrylic board. Complete this stitch. This is the first stitch. Make one more stitch. This completes the stitches within the parentheses. You need to do this a total of 3 times. Repeat the stitches in the parentheses 2 more times. After completing these, in the next space, make 3 single crochets. One, 2, 3. This completes the stitches within the curly brackets. You need to do this a total of 9 times. Continue and complete the remaining 8 times. After completing the first round, check the number of stitches. Here, the sample has fewer spaces, so there will be fewer groups. Therefore, the final total stitch count is not for reference. Refer to the chart for the specific stitch count. After checking the stitch count, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch of this round. Pull tight. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten it. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. At this point, the first round is complete. Now, crochet the second round. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. The turning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as a stitch. Let me emphasize this again. When actually crocheting in rounds, you always begin with a turning chain. You can slightly tighten it. I won't repeat this in the following steps. Now, crochet the stitches in the parentheses. 4 single crochets. 1 single crochet increase. A single crochet increase is made by working 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2. The single crochet increase is now completed, then work 4 more single crochets. This completes one group. Continue to complete the remaining groups. After finishing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Pay attention. At the end of each round, always join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. After completing the slip stitch, pull tight. This completes the second round. Continue to the third round. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Crochet evenly, meaning 1 stitch corresponds to 1 stitch. Here, work single crochets. Complete this round all the way through. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. This completes the third round. You can take a look now. The right side of the piece has a clear texture, while the wrong side has a blurry texture. When crocheting from now on, keep the right side facing you. For the following rounds 4 to 7, the stitch patterns are similar to the previous ones. The stitch instruction will also be similar to before. Just follow the stitch order in the table and crochet accordingly. The fabric will naturally curl after completing. Turn the right side out. Take a look. 1 raised texture on the right side represents 1 round. When counting rounds, count these raised textures. The first round is marked on the acrylic board. Don't forget the beginning chain and slip stitches when crocheting. Continue using the method learned previously. Refer to the table to complete this section. After completing this section, it should have an outward expanding shape. If it curls inward or stands straight, adjust the tension in your hands, or switch to a different hook size and recrochet. Next, continue with the 8th round. I'll demonstrate using this sample swatch. Start with 1 beginning chain. Refer to the chart. First, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets. After completing them, make 1 single crochet decrease. Let's take a look first. The stitch consists of these 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The other strand is the back loop. First, insert into the front loop of the left side single crochet. Then, insert into the front loop of the adjacent single crochet. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. Yarn over and draw through the remaining loops in once. The single crochet decrease is completed. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. This method of picking up only the front loops to make decreases is called an invisible decrease. Using this technique for crocheting, the gaps between stitches are smaller. The fabric looks more delicate overall. Continue crocheting the corresponding number of single crochets. The group of stitches within the parentheses is now complete. Continue crocheting the corresponding number of single crochets. After completing, make a single crochet decrease. Hook through the front loops of the next 2 adjacent stitches on the left side. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the remaining loops in once. The single crochet decrease is completed. Continue following the chart to complete the remaining part. Finish with a slip stitch. This completes round 8. For rounds 9 to 21, continue crocheting in rounds following the chart. Everyone complete it. Now, I will demonstrate round 22. Using a sample swatch. Start with 1 beginning chain. Flow means crochet in the front loop only. That is, the strand at the front of the stitch. For this round, you will be crocheting into the front loops of each stitch. Follow the chart to complete this round. After completing, finish with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Round 22 is now completed. Round 23 involves crocheting single crochets in rounds without increasing or decreasing. Everyone complete this round. After completing, continue with round 24. Start with one beginning chain, then crochet the group inside the parentheses. That is, 1 single crochet, 2 half double crochets, 2 double crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 1 single crochet. This completes one group. Continue crocheting the remaining groups. After completing, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Thread the needle. At the position of the second stitch, insert the needle from front to back. Insert the needle through the back loop of the last stitch. Then weave in the tail on the wrong side of the work. Slightly pull the loop tight to form the shape of a braid. This makes the edge look neat, and then weave in the tail on the wrong side. Trim any excess yarn tails. This completes the main body of the flower pot. Next, let's learn how to make the crochet piece. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Begin with the magic ring. After completing, make one beginning chain. Work 7 single crochets into the ring. Then tighten the yarn loop of the magic ring. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. This completes the first round. For the remaining rounds of the swatch, the stitch techniques used have been demonstrated earlier. Refer to the chart to complete the remaining sections. Pay attention when crocheting the last few rounds. Align the swatch with the 21st round of the main body. Ensure this round of back loops is aligned. The size should be roughly the same. If there is a significant difference, you can crochet additional stitches according to the pattern, or crochet fewer rounds, until the size is roughly the same. Once you have determined the final round, leave a tail of about 50 centimeters and cut the yarn. That concludes the making of the swatch. Next, we will learn how to assemble. Take out the main body and the stuffing. First, evenly lay a layer of stuffing inside the main body. Then, take out the weighting beads. Sprinkle them evenly inside. Then repeat the method of 1 layer of stuffing and 1 layer of weighting beads. Fill the inside of the main body this way. Be mindful not to go past round 21. Leave some distance below it, which makes the subsequent sewing more convenient. After filling, thread the yarn tail of the swatch onto a darning needle. Sew together the stitches of the swatch with the horizontal line below the back loop of round 21 of the main body. When sewing, you can follow a pattern, or divide the swatch evenly before sewing. To divide the swatch evenly, first roughly divide it into several equal parts using stitch markers. If you don't have stitch markers, you can use paper clips or safety pins instead. You can divide it into more sections here. After dividing, secure the swatch to the main body. When sewing later, sew between the stitch markers. If the number of rounds in the swatch hasn't changed, you can sew according to the pattern. The pattern is to sew 10 stitches of the swatch to 7 stitches of the main body. First, sew once by matching each stitch. Pay attention to sewing through the horizontal line below the back loop. Then sew 2 stitches of the swatch to 1 stitch of the main body once. That is, after sewing 1 stitch corresponding to 1, pick up the next stitch of the swatch and sew it once at the corresponding position on the main body. Following the 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 pattern, repeat this process 2 more times. Then sew once more with 1-to-1. This completes sewing 10 stitches of the swatch to 7 stitches of the main body. Next, everyone follow the method demonstrated here, and choose to sew according to the pattern, or mark the positions with stitch markers before sewing. Pay attention. As you approach the end of the round, continue to stuff some fiber fill inside, ensuring it is firmly stuffed, and make sure there are no dents in the flower pot. You can use a crochet hook to assist with stuffing. Then continue sewing the remaining part. After sewing, weave in the ends inside the flower pot. That concludes the assembly process. Next, let's learn about the accessories. The accessories include ginkgo leaves, coins, and branches numbered 1 to 4. Let's start with crocheting the ginkgo leaves. Begin with a foundation chain. Work back and forth. For the last round, crochet in rounds. The ginkgo leaves are crocheted using variegated yarn. Try to choose different color segments while crocheting. This will create ginkgo leaves in various colors. Here, I'm demonstrating with cotton yarn. First, leave a tail of about 30 centimeters. Then make 2 chain stitches. Next, start crocheting in the second to last stitch. W stands for 3 single crochets in 1 stitch. Here, pick up the top strand of the chain stitch to crochet. 1, 2, 3. 3 single crochets in one stitch are now completed. At this point, row 1 is finished. Next, move on to row 2. Square brackets indicate crocheting in the same position. First, make 2 chain stitches. These serve as the turning chain for half double crochets. This counts as 1 stitch. Then, turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Continue working on the stitches below. Crochet 1 half double crochet. This completes the stitches within the square brackets. TV represents a half double crochet increase. This stitch is made by crocheting 2 half double crochets in the same position. Now, 1 half double crochet increase is completed. Crochet 1 more stitch. With this, row 2 is finished. Next, proceed to row 3. Start with 2 chain stitches as the beginning chain. This counts as 1 stitch. After turning the workpiece over, continue by crocheting 1 double crochet in the last stitch on the right side. Next, you'll encounter EV, which indicates a treble crochet increase. This stitch is made by crocheting 2 treble crochets in the same position. First, crochet 1 treble crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Insert the hook into the stitch and draw the yarn through. Repeat this 3 times. The treble crochet is now completed. Next, crochet another treble crochet in the same stitch position. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 3 times. The treble crochet is now completed. 1 treble crochet increase is now complete. Next is the content within the square brackets, E4CHSL. E stands for treble crochet. Start with 1 treble crochet. Then crochet 4 chain stitches. After completing these, make 1 slip stitch in the insertion point. Move on to the next set of instructions. In the square brackets, on the left side, make 1 slip stitch in the next stitch, followed by 4 chain stitches and 1 treble crochet. Finally, complete with 1 treble crochet increase. Pick up both loops of the top chain stitch. Crochet 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. This completes the 3rd row. Next, move on to the 4th round. Cut a 40 cm length of copper wire and set it aside for use. In this round, wrap the copper wire together as you crochet. Make 1 beginning chain. Then, along the edge of the previous 3 rows, crochet 5 single crochets. Ensure the placement of the single crochets is evenly distributed. As you crochet, place the copper wire above the crochet hook. Simply crochet them together. Then, at the beginning chain stitch, which is the entry position for the 1st row, crochet 1 single crochet, 1 chain stitch and 1 single crochet. For the 2nd single crochet, wrap the other end of the copper wire as you crochet. Next, along the left edge, crochet 5 single crochets. Pay attention to the yarn tail at the beginning of the starting chain. Do not wrap this yarn tail. Take a look after you finish crocheting. The third row is divided into 2 halves. One half has 5 stitches. Start with the right half, and for each stitch, crochet 3 chain stitches and 1 single crochet. Pay attention to not skipping the starting chain position of the third row. After finishing, fold the copper wire roughly in half. Adjust it slightly. When completed, there will be 2 chain braids in the middle. One side has 4 stitches. Make 1 slip stitch on each stitch. The slip stitches here should not be pulled tight. Do not wrap the copper wire below every other stitch. Continue wrapping on the next stitch. K2 means skip 2 stitches without crocheting. Here, skip 2 slip stitches. Continue by crocheting 4 slip stitches on the left chain braid. Then move to the left half. For each stitch, crochet 1 single crochet and 3 chain stitches. Don't forget to crochet the last stitch. After finishing, make a slip stitch on the first stitch of the round. Pull tight. Then cut the yarn and weave in the end. Now the Jinko leaf is completed. Next, we will crochet a coin. Start with an adjust ball magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used here is TW. For this stitch, crochet 3 half double crochets into the same position. It's similar to a half double crochet increase. Pay attention, the third round is crocheted in the front loop. Now everyone refer to the chart. Crochet until there is 1 round left. When crocheting the last round, you need to stuff it. After completing it, pull the yarn tight. For the specific crocheting and pulling method, please refer to the demonstration in the following video. Now crochet the final round. First, stuff with an appropriate amount of fiber fill. Make sure to firmly stuff the area from the first 2 rounds. Then crochet a single crochet decrease. Next, continue crocheting while stuffing with fiber fill. After completing the single crochet decrease, stuff more fiber fill. You can use the hook handle to help. Make sure to firmly stuff the large coin. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Now proceed to close the opening. Stretch the loop. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail and fasten off. Thread the yarn tail into a darning needle. Then pass through the front loops of the last round of stitches. After completing, tighten it slightly. Press to lay flat. This completes the closing method. Next, proceed with weaving in the yarn tail. Start by threading the yarn tail through the center of the closure. Then exit from any stitch in the second round. Next, insert back into a stitch on the right side. Then come out from the center of the closure again. Slightly tighten. Then insert back into the center. Exit from an adjacent stitch. Insert on the left side. Pay attention to always entering and exiting from the center of the closure at the bottom. Follow this method to weave in the entire round. After weaving in all the yarn tails, adjust the shape. Weave in the ends inside. This completes one large coin-shaped piece. For the remaining large coin-shaped pieces, this concludes the explanation of the large coin-shaped piece. Next, let's learn how to make branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, and branch 4. The crochet technique for these branches is basically the same. They only differ in stitch count and round count. Here, I will demonstrate using branch 1 as an example. Refer to this demonstration for the other branches. Just follow the pattern to crochet. Start with an adjust ball magic ring. Then work 1 chain to begin. Crochet 4 single crochets. Next, tighten the magic ring loop. Then slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. Here, the stitch count is small, so pay attention to pulling the slip stitch tight. The first round is complete. Now move on to the second round. Work 1 chain to begin, then correspondingly make 4 single crochets. After completing, slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. Note that after completing, the right side should be on the outside. The second round is complete. Continue to follow the chart to finish the remaining rounds. After completing, leave a 30 cm tail and cut the yarn. This concludes branch 1. For branches 3 and 4, when actually crocheting, after completing a few rounds, you can take the required length of shaping wire. After folding, insert the opening part into the inside of the fabric. And stuff fiber fill while crocheting. You can use scissors to assist. Stuff the fiber fill around the shaping wire. Branch 1 and branch 2 do not require fiber fill. You can insert the shaping wire after completing the crochet. This is the method for adding the shaping wire. In branch 3, you will encounter a new stitch technique. The half double crochet decrease. The method for this stitch is, first, make 2 incomplete half double crochets. Here, I'll demonstrate with a small sample. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, and draw the yarn through. The incomplete half double crochet is now done. Now, let's make one more. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Another incomplete half double crochet is completed. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. The half double crochet decrease is now done. Continue by following this demonstration. Refer to the chart to finish hooking branches 1 to 4. This concludes the accessories section. Next, we will learn about assembling. The assembly is divided into several parts: branch assembly, pom-pom decorations, jinko leaves, coin decorations, tassel decorations, osmanthus flower decorations, and remaining accessories. Let's start with the branch assembly. Let's look at the actual project. I'll explain the order of securing. When securing, first attach branch 1 to branch 4, at about the middle position. Then, secure branch 2 to branch 3, also at about the middle position. Next, attach branch 4 to the middle of the fabric piece. Secure branch 1 next to branch 4. Secure branch 3 next to branch 4. Secure branch 3 next to branch 4. Now, let me demonstrate the assembly of the branches. Here, I'll use a small sample for the demonstration. This small sample is only for demonstrating the assembly, and should not be used as an actual reference. Thread the reserved yarn tail onto a darning needle. Then, on the fabric piece for the flower pot, insert the shaping wire at an appropriate position. You can first expand the area slightly with a crochet hook. Before inserting the shaping wire, after inserting it to the bottom, use a darning needle to sew together the last round of stitches and the fabric piece. The sewing method can be random, just make sure it's secured tightly. After sewing, weave in the yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Once assembled, you can adjust the shape according to your preference. Next, let's learn how to make pom-pom decorations. The pom-pom decoration has a copper wire frame, with pom-poms glued on top. It is divided into 5 groups in total. The diagram will provide the length of the longest copper wire in a group. The copper wire length here refers to the length after folding it in half. You can cut the same length of copper wire, based on the number in a group, or decrease the length by 0.5 to 1 centimeter sequentially according to the number. Here, I will demonstrate with 5 as an example. Among these 5, one in the middle is the primary branch, and the rest are secondary branches. First, make the secondary branches. Before making them, you need to prepare the line segments. I will demonstrate using cotton yarn. Take about 50 centimeters of yarn. Pick up the yarn in the middle position. Take 2 strands. For the subsequent yarn over, just wrap the yarn with these 2 strands. Here are the 5 copper wires that have been prepared. All of them have been folded in half. Now, take out one of them. Use your finger to take a little glue. Apply it to one end of the copper wire. Take the prepared yarn and wrap it, round the copper wire. Try to wrap the yarn as evenly as possible. Make sure no part of the copper wire is exposed. As you wrap, continue to apply a bit of glue to secure it. After wrapping a small distance, about 3 centimeters, the specific length can be adjusted according to your preference. Tie a knot on the copper wire to secure it. This prepares one branch. If you need to add small decorations while wrapping the yarn, you can thread the decorations onto the yarn beforehand. Then, as you wrap, they will be secured directly onto the copper wire. This is how you incorporate decorations. Following this method, complete the remaining branches. Next, work on the primary branch. Here, the primary branch has already been wrapped for a certain distance. Continue applying glue and adding branches. While wrapping the yarn, if you run out of yarn, you can take another piece of yarn. Start wrapping above the previous yarn end. Weave the excess tail in as you continue wrapping. Keep wrapping until you reach the desired length. Then tie a knot to secure it. Trim off any excess copper wire and yarn tails. You can also apply a bit more glue to hold everything in place. This completes the basic structure. Pay attention to the length of each branch of the structure. The position can both be adjusted according to your preference. Then, glue a pom-pom on each branch and the primary branch. After gluing, press slightly, which will make it more secure. One pom-pom decoration is now made. Follow this demonstration to make the rest of the pom-pom decorations. Be mindful of the different lengths. Next, take out the ginkgo leaves. Tidy up the shape of the leaves. Make the leaves more spread out. Once done, continue to process the copper wire section. The remaining part of the copper wire should not be too long, about 5 centimeters or so. You can refer to the actual project for specific length, or adjust according to your preference. Next, take out the alcohol glue. Following the yarn over method used for the pom-pom decorations, wrap the copper wire. This completes the processing of the ginkgo leaf. Next, let's make the coin decoration. Take about 6 centimeters of copper wire. Pass it through the middle of the coin. Fold the wire in half. Position the fold at one corner of the square. Then twist twice to secure it. The coin decoration is now done. Next, let's make the tassel decoration. Take 4 strands of yarn, each about 30 centimeters in length. Thread it through with a gold pin. If you don't have a gold pin, you can use a sewing needle from home. Pass it through the middle position above the tassel. Then roughly align both ends of the thread. Next, pass it sequentially through the 2 holes of 3 gold buttons. Note that this is the right side. This is the wrong side. Each time, insert from the right side. And exit from the wrong side. This way, you've threaded on 3 buttons. Then pick up the other end of the thread and thread it onto a sewing needle. Pass it through the 2 holes on the wrong side of these 3 gold buttons. That is, each time insert from the wrong side. And exit from the right side. Make sure the sewing needle does not pass through the segments of the thread to prevent difficulty in pulling the thread later. Adjust the 3 buttons slightly. After threading, tie 2 simple knots with the ends to secure them. This way, the tassel decoration is complete. Next, let's learn how to make the this decoration. Cut about at least 50 centimeters of copper wire. Pick up one end of the copper wire. Take one this bead, one seed bead. Insert from the wrong side of the this bead. Then pass through the seed bead. And back through the this bead. Make sure to leave about 5 centimeters of the copper wire. Then twist the copper wire on the wrong side twice to secure it. This way, you have strung one this decoration. Then pass through another this bead like this. Make sure to insert from the wrong side. Then pass through another seed bead. At this point, adjust the position of the this bead. Try to keep the two this beads as close together as possible. Then back through the this bead. The copper wire on the wrong side will be directly pressed against the back of the this bead. This way, you have strung another this decoration. Repeat this process to make the required number of this decorations. Note: when back through the this bead, press the this bead with one hand and slightly tighten the copper wire with the other hand. This way, the this bead will be more securely fixed. After threading a few this beads, you can adjust the position of the this beads according to your preference. Use this copper wire to secure the position of the copper wire on the wrong side. The method of securing can be random. Just secure it slightly. So that the shape of the this bead is roughly fixed. If you encounter a looser spot while stringing beads, you can twist the this bead once. Twist the copper wire behind it, which will shorten the length of the copper wire a bit. This can help reduce some of the excess copper wire length. Now, let's take a look at the actual project. When you make it yourself, pay attention to the direction of the copper wire. Try to make it into a complete circle, and finally return to the starting position. This makes it convenient for securing it later. The number of this flowers here, and their shape can be adjusted according to your preference, or you can refer to the actual project for making. After completing the project, twist the two copper wires at both ends together for 2 more rounds to secure them. Finally, adjust the shape of the this decoration once more. That concludes the assembly of the this decoration. Next, I'll explain the assembly order using the actual project. Use hot melt glue to attach the ingots to the branches. If you don't have a hot melt glue gun, you can use the inner flame of a lighter to melt the glue stick before attaching. Pay attention to safety when using. The specific positions of the ingots can be adjusted according to your preference. Make sure to reserve space for the this decoration in advance. After attaching the ingot decorations, continue assembling the remaining decorations. The method is almost the same. Finally, assemble the decorations on the flower pot. I'll demonstrate the assembly of other decorations using this small sample. Let's take the pom-pom decoration as an example. At the position where you need to place the pom-pom decoration, use a crochet hook to slightly expand the opening. Then apply glue to the bottom of the pom-pom decoration. Make sure not to use too much. Insert it about 1 centimeter into the corresponding position. Press for a while to make it more secure. For the remaining pom-pom decorations, ginkgo leaf decorations, and osmanthus flower decorations, assemble them in the same way. The installation positions can all be adjusted. Now let's take a look at the actual project. Here, the pom-pom decorations are attached to the fabric pieces, and some are attached to the branches. The ginkgo leaves are also installed this way. Adjust the placement according to the actual project and your preference before installing. Then take out the coin decorations. At the spots where you need to install them, use a crochet hook to pick up a segment of yarn, about the length of a single crochet. After expanding it, pass the copper wire through. You can also apply some alcohol-based adhesive to secure it. Next, bend the copper wire towards the coin. You can also twist the copper wire for added reinforcement. After pressing it down, trim off any excess. Note that it's generally better to place the secured wire on the wrong side. So, make sure the copper wire does not extend beyond the right side. This completes the assembly of one coin decoration. Finally, assemble the flower pot. There are 2 ribbons in total. The colors here are not for reference. Take out the narrower ribbon, wrap it around the indented area of the flower pot. Go around once. Make sure the slightly smoother side of the ribbon faces outward. Adjust the overlapping part to the left side on the front. Secure the overlapping part with alcohol glue or a sewing needle. Trim off any excess ribbon. Then take out the tassel decoration. Thread the yarn tail onto a darning needle. Continue adjusting the overlapping position. Then secure the tassel decoration underneath. The method is random. Next, take out the wider ribbon. Tie a bow. Fold it roughly in half. Pinch 2 loops at both ends. Tie them together in a knot. Flip to the other side. Thread your thumb through the 2 loops. Grab the remaining ribbon and adjust it. Ensure both sides have consistent loop sizes and pull tight. Then trim off any excess ribbon. The frayed edges of the ribbon can be singed with a lighter to prevent coming loose. Next, take this bow and stick it onto the previously overlapped ribbon position. Using hot melt glue will make it more secure. Pay attention to only gluing the middle position. Do not glue the 2 loops of the bow. Finally, at a proper position on the flower pot, attach the patch with alcohol glue. This completes the assembly. Up to this point, the entire decoration is completed. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. We will see you in the next episode.